The sun filtered through the blinds in slanted lines across the cold floor, and Jungkook stood in the kitchen with shaking hands, clutching the edge of the counter. Taehyung was outside on a call. Again. Smiling. Again. Logging with someone Jungkook didn't know. Or maybe, he did. The bouquet on the table, delicate white lilies and pastel roses, looked beautiful. But they weren't just for Jungkook. They never were. Last night, Taehyung had walked in with them, pressed a kiss to Jungkook's cheek, and said, "You like these, don't you?" I remembered. Jungkook had smiled. He always did. But now, the weight of a stupid coincidence crushed him. The same bouquet. The same wrapping. A photo on Taehyung's unlocked iPad this morning, sent by her. The woman Jungkook was never allowed to ask about. The one whose name still echoed in the hallway when Taehyung talked too low. She had posted the same flowers on her story. "Thank you for always remembering my favorite." He wasn't sure what broke him more, the lie, or the fact that Taehyung used Jungkook's preferences as a shared excuse to please another. When Taehyung walked back in, phone still in hand, Jungkook didn't turn around. "You're quiet today," Taehyung said softly, his arms attempting to wrap around Jungkook's waist. Jungkook moved out of reach. Don't act like you're mine," Taehyung stiffened. "What are you talking about?" Jungkook finally turned to him, eyes brimming. "You said you bought those flowers because you remembered what I like. But she posted the same ones this morning. Same wrapping, same note style. So, which one of us were they really for?" Taehyung's jaw clenched. "You're not going to lie to me again," Jungkook's voice cracked. "Not when you're so bad at hiding it now." Silence wrapped around them like barbed wire. "Jungkook, no. Just answer me. Was she the one you were texting last night too? The one you smiled for when I was crying in the bathroom and you didn't even check on me? Was she the one you kept tabs on when you forgot I was sitting next to you?" Taehyung swallowed hard. "It's not like that." "Then what is it like, Taehyung? Enlighten me." Taehyung stared at him with something too raw in his eyes, but it wasn't guilt. Not fully. It was panic. Like a man watching something slip from his hands that he never valued enough to hold tight in the first place. "I never stopped loving you," he whispered. "That's not enough," Jungkook said, voice low and trembling. "Because your love never came with loyalty." Jungkook didn't sleep that night. He sat on the floor beside the cold fireplace, knees tucked into his chest, staring blankly at the flickering shadows cast by the streetlights outside. The flowers were still on the table. Untouched. Unwanted. Taehyung hadn't tried to speak again, not after Jungkook walked out of the kitchen and slammed the door of their bedroom shut behind him. Except it wasn't their bedroom anymore. Not really. Not when someone else's perfume had once lingered on his pillows. Not when someone else got the same flowers. The same smile. The same Taehyung. Jungkook pulled his phone out, scrolling through the gallery he promised himself he'd never look at again. Photos of them, smiling, in love, arms tangled together in Paris, Tokyo, and Seoul. Promises etched in every frame. 1,000 soft kisses frozen in time. But reality? Reality was the phone call he had overheard weeks ago. The whisper. "She needed me." Jungkook strong. He always survives, but this wasn't about survival. It was about betrayal. Taehyung's silence had been louder than anything else. Suddenly, his phone buzzed. A message. From an unknown number. "You deserve better than someone who shared your bed and still warmed hers," Jungkook froze. His throat went dry. Hands numb. Who sent that? He was still staring when the door creaked open behind him. Jungkook. Taehyung's voice was hoarse. Can we talk? Jungkook didn't turn. Is it about her again? No, about us. Do we even have an us left? I made a mistake. Jungkook laughed bitterly. You made several. Repeatedly. I didn't sleep with her recently, Taehyung admitted, quietly. It was during the time when you were in the hospital. Jungkook's blood turned to ice. You mean when I overdosed? Taehyung flinched. When I was barely breathing and she reached out, Taehyung murmured. Said she was sorry. That she missed me. I was broken. I thought you wouldn't make it, so you sought comfort in her bed, Jungkook whispered, while they thought I wouldn't survive. A tear rolled down his cheek. You didn't even wait to know if I would live, he said, voice trembling. And you dare say you love me, Jungkook. I came back to you. I chose you. No. Jungkook stood up, eyes hollow. You settled for me, and with that, he walked past Taehyung and out the front door. This time, Taehyung didn't stop him. Because he knew, he already lost him. Rain began to pour the moment Jungkook stepped outside. It felt fitting, nature mirroring the hurricane brewing inside his chest. His clothes soaked, heart heavier with each step. He didn't know where he was walking. He just knew he had to get away. From that house. From the memories. From him. Taehyung. He had always been his safe place. His warmth. His home. But now, he felt like fire. Beautiful, blinding, but lethal when touched too closely. Jungkook reached the park bench where they'd once watched the stars and shared strawberry milk. He sat there again, but this time, there were no stars. Just clouds, storming like the ache inside him. Then his phone buzzed again. Unknown number, still defending him? Even after he chose her the night he almost died, his fingers trembled. Who was it? Someone from Taehyung's past? A jealous ex? Or worse, was it her? He wanted to ignore it. But curiosity won. Jungkook, who is this? No reply. Instead, a photo came through. A blurry image, Taehyung standing outside a hotel, arms around her. The timestamp? 3 days after Jungkook had been released from the hospital. His breath caught. He dropped the phone. It was true. It wasn't just the past. Taehyung had seen her after. After Jungkook woke up. After he held his hand and cried, swearing he'd stay by his side. So why? Why was she still there? Why did he go? Back at the house, Taehyung stood in the dark, drenched from head to toe, still at the doorway where Jungkook had left. He didn't chase after him. He didn't know if he had a right anymore. He walked slowly to the living room, sat where Jungkook had been just hours ago, and stared at the same shadows. In his hands, he held a photo. Of them. Jungkook asleep on his lap. A smile on his lips, trust in every breath. Taehyung pressed the photo to his heart. I never loved her, he whispered into the silence. But I failed you, when it mattered most. Jungkook stood outside Namjoon's apartment, barely able to lift his hand to knock. He felt cold, not just from the rain that had long stopped, but from everything he now knew. Everything he had seen. The door opened before he even touched it. Jungkook, Namjoon blinked, eyes softening instantly. What happened? Jungkook didn't answer. He just collapsed into his arms. Namjoon held him, strong and steady, like a brother. Like the father figure Taehyung once promised to be but never became. Inside, wrapped in a dry hoodie and sipping warm tea, Jungkook finally spoke. He said he loved me. Namjoon sat beside him quietly. But he still went back to her. Did he tell you why? Jungkook shook his head. He didn't have to. The photo said it all. Namjoon hesitated. People make mistakes when they're scared. And what was he scared of? Jungkook's voice cracked. Loving me? Choosing me over her? Or maybe, she's just easier to explain to the world. Namjoon's eyes softened with understanding. You're not easy to love, Jungkook. Not because of who you are, but because it means something to love you. It demands truth, loyalty, sacrifice. And not everyone is brave enough for that. Silence. Tears fell quietly down Jungkook's cheek. I gave him everything, Taehyung. My trust. My heart. I waited for him through years of nothing. I would have waited forever. Namjoon placed a gentle hand on his back. Then maybe it's time he learns what life feels like without you in it. Meanwhile, Taehyung stared at his phone. No replies. No calls answered. Jimin stood by the door, arms crossed. What are you doing? Taehyung looked up, guilt all over his face. Waiting, for what? Jimin said sharply. For him to forgive you like he always does. For him to come back after you crushed him again. I didn't mean to hurt him, but you did. And you keep doing it. Taehyung lowered his head. I thought I had time to fix things. You didn't need time, Taehyung. You needed courage. And when he finally needed you to choose him completely, you hesitated. That night, Jungkook stared at the ceiling. Taehyung's hoodie clutched to his chest. He hated that he still missed him. Still ached for him. Still wanted him to fight. But maybe it was time he stopped waiting.